If I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
Yo, everyone, we are live, we are live, we are live. Yo, it is Old Man G here, back again with another weekly Q&A. I've not actually done these in a while, actually, but I've been live since the Arsenal game. Shout out to Manchester United, Eric Ten Hag. I've enjoyed the last couple of days. It's been great, actually, so seeing basically rival teams implode while your team is on a high is actually very, very satisfying. Chelsea in the mud, Liverpool in the mud, Arsenal in the mud. Even City drew against Aston Villa, man. So, it's good. It's good. It's really good. So this is a weekly Q&A. So, this is me. Like, it wasn't last week because when did it go live last week? Oh yeah, United were playing, or there was a preview. So yeah, it was a preview for United playing, whatever. So that was why. So this is a Q&A. So by Gutmans, guys, get your questions in the comments. Remember, if you need to chime to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, follow us on Twitter and X, and smash the notification button. But yeah, get your questions in. Really appreciate it. We'll go live about an hour plus or so, depending on how many questions there are. But on top of that, I'll also be reacting to obviously current events, i.e., the big news today, I guess, is Tuchel being sacked and Graham Potter seemingly being the one who is it was down to replace him, apparently. So that's actually very, very interesting. We'll talk about Liverpool getting lubricated by Napoli. Probably maybe a bit about United's previewing, United's Europa. That's probably about what I'll use these, because if I'm quite honest, I don't really want to do Europa League previews this channel. I don't really pay much attention to Europa League group stages, if I'm honest. So what I'll probably do is I'll use these weekly Q&As to do a kind of mini preview for the Europa League games for Manchester United. If it was CL, it's fine, but Europa League, no. So I'll just give my thoughts general on how Manchester United will set up, etc. So that's kind of what I'll do. Let's have a look in the chat. Shout out to Eddie, man. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Big up RDS Fulton Shelter, buddy, back into good market. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Big up Eddie Solo. Thank you so much, buddy. Cesar Bees and shout, yo, what's up, bro? We are going to Europa League. Yeah, at this rate, Liverpool are going, because Liverpool in the same group as Ajax, man. Now, for me, they need to win at Anfield. If they win all their games at Anfield, we'll see. But Ajax and Rangers, I said this group on a draw. This is not going to be an easy. If Liverpool's form stays as is, this is not going to be an easy group for Liverpool. This is not going to be an easy group for Liverpool, because Ajax are looking good, got momentum, and Rangers. Well, I think Liverpool will probably beat Rangers because they got lubricated by Ajax today really badly. But Rangers are always difficult at Ibrox, and that's the key thing. So where Liverpool going to get the points from? It's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting. I don't see Liverpool coming as I don't know. Something their mojo's gone really. And I don't know whether it's a German coach thing, but it's looking like another phase, really, So we went through, Spanish, Italian phase in terms of managers, and Spanish phase, then German phase, and now, it looks like we even go into an English phase now, So, but yeah, it looks like the German coaches are being found out now. Um, Tottenham won, but let's be all know that North London really cares about them like that. Yeah, I mean, like Spurs, I have no. I mean, Spurs' group was a dead group anyway. I would have serious questions if Conte could not qualify from that group with Spurs. I'd have very, 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 very serious questions if they couldn't do that. Tottenham's group was dead. They're as far as I'm concerned, Tottenham should be through. That was the Tottenham and City, as far as I'm concerned, should be through the group. Chelsea and Liverpool were the ones that had question marks over just simply because of how they were playing, but also the nature of some of those clubs. I always thought that Chelsea going down on Zagreb was going to be difficult. And then obviously they have those others, so they're going to be in problem. All out to Christian, man. Thank you for joining, man. Christian, I really appreciate it. Always appreciate you, man. Napoli, left wing back Royce is Roy's favorite player, and he's the next superstar. Yes, exactly, exactly. I've forgotten his name, but he did play very, very well. I wonder if Roy would have him at Milan. Factos might have been right about the players not caring. Is that for Liverpool or Chelsea? Um, I mean, I think the thing I've noticed is that I think Chelsea and Liverpool have different problems. I think the thing with Liverpool is that when you don't like why Manchester United look different, for example, is that you've signed 5 players: Malacia, Ericsson, Anthony, Martinez, and Casemiro. So you've now brought in and reinvigorated this sort of team. You've added different dynamics. There's a spark, there's momentum, there's something, there's freshness. Liverpool, okay, yes, Nunes is there. Kind of, to be honest, I don't know why Nunes didn't start. Well, but anyway, I'll come to that later. I'll come to that a little later because I don't really understand Klopp's selection personally. I don't really get Klopp's selection for this game. I really didn't. Um, Salah looks so lost. Salah has been on fraud watch ever since he accepted that new contract. Salah has been on fraud watch ever since he accepted that new contract. Ever since. I've been calling it with these. The new name apparently is Mo Sahara. Mo Sahara, man, because he had a dry spell ever since, man. Ever since that contract, he's just disappeared. He really, really has disappeared. Make sure you like the vid, guys. Make sure you like the vid, guys, and subscribe. If you're new, I'm hoping to. The ideal will be get to 4K by the end of um the year. But who knows? Maybe it'll work. Let's just have a quick look. Oh, so it's okay. Sorry, guys. My computer is just so slow and messing things up. I do one small thing and then it just freezes. I think I'm frozen. Yeah. Jeez. Sorry, guys. Really sorry. Um, RDS, what team impressed you on the first day of the UCO? Yeah, we'll get into the question before I get into Thomas Tuchel. So what team impressed me the most? What team impressed me the most? I'm biased because obviously I didn't watch all of them. Zagreb actually impressed me quite a bit how they defended against Chelsea. Um, because I watched that game. Real Madrid, but I mean, I was expecting them to beat Celtic. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, this is just it's biased, but I'd said Zagreb actually, because for them to not only play well but defend the way they did against Chelsea, really impressive. Because everyone else generally had the teams that I expected to win did win. So it'd probably be between Zagreb and Napoli because I didn't expect Napoli to pimp slap Liverpool the way they did. Napoli pimp slap Liverpool. Napoli thrashed Liverpool. So Napoli and Zagreb would probably be the ones that I would go to personally. Liverpool main players are getting old. I don't think it's necessarily that. I think that, I mean, it's like what Sadio Mane said, you need a new challenge. This is the thing that Sir Alex Ferguson did that I think no other coaches can do is that you're always keeping the team, the club hungry. And in order to do that, that needs to come from the manager, but you also need to refresh the players. And the reality is that Liverpool only brought in Nunes as their major signing. Okay, Arthur Melo, okay, fine. And the Carvalho kid. And I think the Scottish Aberdeen guy. That's it, really. That's it. They didn't really revamp their squad, got the momentum in, which you need if you want to continue the winning mentality. When they signed Thiago, for example, last season, so and brought him in, then fair enough. So, but they didn't do that, and that's what's caused. That's what causes problems. So let me know if the audio and the visual is a bit weird. I apologize. I am working on it. Thoughts on PSG yesterday? Looking good. PSG looking very good. The problem I have with PSG still is that with PSG they and Napoli and maybe it's just the way they are, but they get too complacent. You know, there are many, and also Mbappe, Neymar, especially Mbappe, has been quite selfish. So there are times when like they should have beaten Juve 4, potentially 5-0. It was 2-1 because they were selfish and also they're getting complacent. And against a better team, they will be punished for that. I'm still not overtly convinced by the defense, but I just think that if they don't kill off teams, they will be punished. They will be punished, whether that's by a City or a Madrid. Even some smaller teams, they'll get punished. So that was the only thing I think of. I'm still seeing this kind of naivety and unprofessionalism in this team, and that's going to be a problem for them. That's why I don't think they're favorites personally. Atletico Madrid game was crazy. The last minute goal, those minor frauds, man. I'm a bit tired of Atletico Madrid, to be honest. And these clear clutch wins, really. Yeah, that team is that. Yeah. Abracadabra Alakazam says, could Klopp get Saka? Results continue. I don't know. I think Klopp will only get the sack if he loses the dressing room. I think because he's delivered so much. Klopp has a lot in the bank. He won Liverpool their first Premier League, the Champions League as well. I think even if Klopp goes into Europa, I think the only reason Klopp will get sacked is if Liverpool don't get European football. That's where I think the because you also got to think who's available. Who's available? I mean, that's a good such into it. Let me just before I go and start to talk about Tuchel, shout out to Chainsaw Man. Shout out to Chainsaw Man. I love this guy. Chainsaw's a really good mate, a good friend of mine. Subscribe to his channel, Chainsaw. But there's a lot of receipts from Chainsaw, a lot of receipts about how Liverpool are going to do this season. But so I'm glad that you're not hiding Chainsaw because maybe on the next United forum I need to start compiling my receipt folder now for all the receipts that you had, Chainsaw. I'm sorry. But you're not going to hide, and that's good. Not to be shameless, but we haven't won Europa Conference League or Europa League yet under Klopp. Well, there you go. You see, get into the Europa League, and you never know, you might be able to beat United or so forth and so forth. So it is what it is. Shout out to Sancho saying in the chat as well, man. So yeah, I wanted to quickly just have a conversation about the whole Tuchel situation and what your thoughts were as well, guys. So in the chat, and I appreciate everyone in the chat. Because I didn't I didn't I didn't see this whole Tuchel sacking coming. I really, really didn't. I didn't. There's rumors to say that apparently part of the reason is because Tuchel didn't want to sign Ronaldo and Todd Bowley did want to sign Ronaldo, which is interesting because I had a feeling. I had a feeling because a lot of Chelsea fans are celebrating this. But I was thinking out the sacking, I was thinking, but a lot of you didn't want to sign Ronaldo. A lot of you were against signing Ronaldo. So if your owner wanted to sign Ronaldo, was that based on a footballing reason or a commercial reason? Okay, because I suspect that one of the reasons why there was a falling out is because Brody was like, "Listen, I'm giving you all this money, but I want you to sign a like." None of the players that Chelsea signed are particularly brand players, really, that are going to make the bucks and what have you. So give me CR7, and we'll make him a brand, and it'll be American, all the rest of it. So this for me was a business decision, or business disagreement, because outside of that, I don't really understand. I don't buy this whole, oh, he was sacked because of results slash style of play. That's nonsense. Owners don't care about style of play; they care about results and trophies. Okay, and I don't understand. I just don't understand that logic. That's just faulty logic. It's faulty logic. Yes, the performances were the performances like world class. I'm not saying they were. I don't think they were necessarily. Um, but you've just spent almost 300 thousand um euros, dollars, whatever, on players. And only for a couple of days after the transfer window closes do you decide, right, okay, you wanna sack the guy. It literally makes no sense. It literally makes, so this must have been coming. This actually must have been coming in order for Tuchel to be sacked. Because I can't believe it otherwise. It must have been coming. And because it was coming, um, did Tuchel really have a chance? Like, I mean, I actually feel bad for the guy. I really do, because it's like you stuck with him thick and thin. You stabilize the ship. You sort of you you know you clearly had something that a vision you're trying to implement, and Chelsea are like, right, yeah, we need something different, and we need a new start. So Todd B was like, right, I want to get everyone out. This is the thing. This is the thing. Like, 'cause I'm seeing a lot of Chelsea fans celebrating this, and it's like, I wouldn't be celebrating if I were you. You know, you said get rid of Marina because she was a bad sport director. All these things. Okay, fine, cool, cool, cool. So now you've gone from a situation when you had a sporting director and you had all these people, football people, to now, oh, get rid of that. It's just the manager that's going to be the one that's going to make decisions. As someone who's a United fan, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea, because it creates a situation you have now at United where you will get a situation where you get a new manager's players. So Potter, for example, if he goes, will get his set of players, and then he'll have poor results and he'll get sacked. And the new manager will then have to inherit the players of multiple different managers. So that's the first thing. Um, the second thing is that you're not going to build anything. Like, at the end of the day, I think gone are the days where sacking managers multiple times ultimately gets you results. Like, let's be, if you take away Tuchel's fluke CL, when was the last time Chelsea actually competed for a Premier League? When was the last time he competed for a title? The team that has been closer to doing that, the teams have had long-term managers and have stability and built. That's the reality. Yes, okay, you might win a cup competition, no doubt, not doubting that, but you know, are we honestly saying that Graham Potter's going to come into this Chelsea team midway through and win the Champions League? Probably not. So What's his goal this season? To get top four, to challenge? Like it makes no sense. I think this the Saki made no sense to me, and it summarizes Chelsea Football Club and just yeah, just and their fan bases, to be honest. Let me quickly read some comments, man. So because these guys, because Chelsea, yeah, Chelsea a joke, man. Chelsea Football Club a joke. Um, Chainsaw again saying Klopp got a whole season minimum for this. Oh yeah. He's not leaving. What's the perfect day for you? The perfect day. Oh, um, would be the perfect day would be ooh, a good gym workout, nice breakfast, um, oof, um, spending some quality time with the girl, uh, then more food in the evening, uh, and watching an amazing a movie. Um, oh, by the way, speaking of amazing movies, I need to do a Bullet Train review because I love Bullet Train. I thought that was I haven't been so entertained in a while. Like I love Bullet Train. It was great. It was so funny. Much better than anything I've seen in the MCU recently. Really, if you haven't watched it, watch Bullet Train. Like literally, my favorite movies this year and TV series have been non MCU, non Marvel stuff. I don't think I've watched a single good Marvel or super or even just superhero thing in general. Maybe it's because I've been burnt out, but I've not watched a single good good. I've not. Right, I've not. So, but yeah, there's a lot of non superhero stuff out that's pretty good. So check it out. Yeah, that'd be my sort of perfect day, Rich. I know that sounds a bit minimal, but yeah. But and also sun, nice breeze as well. Shout out to Sanjay Sandman. Going from UCL to Europa so quick will mess up with the players' heads. Liverpool won't win Europa. Yeah. No. They won't win it because United will pay them slap them probably. And also be other teams that are into it. So Liverpool need to do is they need to focus on getting the domestic double, i.e. the FA Cup and the League Cup, and do another parade for next year. That should be Liverpool's aim. Forget about equaling United's league record. Focus on getting the domestic double, the EFL and the League Cup. That's and the FA Cup. Sorry, that's where it's at right now. Um, Liverpool official page said, "Be careful, Naples. Yeah. Oh dear, yeah. See, they jinxed their own team, man. They jinxed their own team. Embarrassing. He's in chains for Liverpool. He is a Liverpool fan. He is a Liverpool fan. He is a Liverpool fan. Liverpool fan, but respect him highly. Can we have a discussion about Trent? He is passing the, but everything else is trash. Yeah, Trent's overall defensibility has declined massively. Um, there is an argument to be had about whether or not like maybe playing him further up. Do you play him like as a as a winger almost? Because his passing ability is elite. Let's give that. There were a lot of passes even today that Trent did that, like, I mean, that one to Salah and Salah's touch. Because we also should have a conversation about Salah. We should also have a conversation about Mo Sahara. We should also have that conversation, so because ever since that contract was signed in January, well, early this year, ever since that AFCON, Salah has disappeared. Salah has actually disappeared ever since ever since that new contract was gone. So and Mane, well, there you go. People will say, because and this is what happened all the time when Liverpool weren't great. Salah would Mane, it'll be either Salah or Mane. Mane, now you don't have that. Diaz tried, and Diaz I think had a good game today. But there you go. But yeah, with Trent, I don't think you can take him out of the team because his defensive isn't great, but his delivery and his passing is so good. There isn't anyone else on Liverpool's team that can even come close to that level. And if you take Trent out of that team, suddenly you completely you remove. I would almost argue 60% of Liverpool's creative output, which would be damaging. So I don't know. It's a difficult one. I think you should. I think you could. You could probably. I mean, there's an argument that he's had that maybe if Liverpool conceding goals, revert to three at the back, and maybe pushed and maybe play through centre backs and then play, um, Trent and Robertson as wing backs. Maybe if you want to shore things up in the defense, that might be something to consider. Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez, whatever, three at the back, Trent and Robertson as wing backs going forward. You have one less in midfield. You can then play. You don't, but you don't have to play Milner then. So make the defense compact. Take Milner out of the midfield. You can play for Fabinho and uh, I don't know, and Elliott, and then obviously then you can go and you play your front three. That might be something. I don't think Klopp will do that. So, but I think if you want to try and stop conceding goals, then playing three at the back is a reasonable shout. Whether he can play that type of football or not is another thing entirely. I know Graham Potter can. What's the biggest shock you've ever heard in terms of football news? Ooh. Mm, biggest shock. It's difficult because there's loads. But it's not shocking news. There's some stuff that's shocking news, but it's not really shocking. That's a good question. I don't know. I guess recently I could say for the United be the Greenwood situation, but I'm not gonna dwell into that. And even then, I had heard murmurings in the past, so I can't really say that's a complete shock. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back to this question, Shane. So I'll star it. So I'm not. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. It feels like Toby is no plan. Give the manager room to spend and sack him so quick. This happens in American sports, but you can't do this in football because of how come exactly. I generally thought at one point that I thought that Todd B might actually think that that by you know by finishing bottom that you know Chelsea would be able to get like the first choice draft pick or something. I generally think that he'll be confusing it with American sports and basketball. They generally thinks that, oh, well, it doesn't matter if we lose because I'll still be able to get the top draft pick when the transfer window is open. I'll get top draft. That's probably what Todd B is thinking. And someone has to tell Todd B that soccer, or football, as most of the world calls it, um, it doesn't work like that. And he actually needs to he needs to finish like reasonably well. There's such a thing as relegation, all these different types of things. But yeah, it's mad. Even Roman wasn't this brutal. Even Roman wasn't this brutal, man. I think it was coming, but I don't really understand why Chelsea fans are celebrating because if anything, I'd be worried. If I was a Chelsea fan, I would be worried because the reason we're hearing that he got sacked, or one of the part of the reason was that the major fallout was because of his reluctance to sign Ronaldo. So that's one red flag. Because why did Chelsea want? I think Chelsea would have actually been good with it personally with Ronaldo, but it's clear why was Toby angry that the manager didn't want Ronaldo? Because Ronaldo is a commercial asset. So already that's where the mindset is. I want to be a commercial asset. And then you're going like, right, get Graham Potter. Really? Graham Potter's first choice. Based on what? Why is someone needs to ask this? What's going on? Sorry. What's going on? What just happened? Sorry about that, guys. My computer is just. This is supposed to be a fancy computer, right? And yet I've had issues after issues after issues after issues. So I think I'm gonna, especially for live streams, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get like a desktop because I've had issues with Wi. Even though this Wi-Fi is supposed to be good, world class, fast, it's got good downloading speed, upload, etc. But when it comes to streaming, it is garbage. It is garbage for streaming. Um, so I think I'm gonna have to get like sort of an Ethernet cable and do it that way. That seems to be the only way. But in order to just finish this point, if I was like froze, I would be worried if I was a Chelsea fan simply because the way they are managing this football club, Toby's managing this football club, um, it sounds like it's very much like a business. And you need to ask the question: why did Toby like Toboli's not had a lot of experience? Not got a Premier League football experience. Why do you think? Of course, I think Graham Potter is a good manager. I've got no doubt about it. But you got to think: why did he go straight to Graham Potter? Why was Graham out of all the managers in Europe and in the world? Why was Graham Potter the first choice? Why was he the first choice? Why was Graham Potter the first choice? And the only thing that I can think of is that um, Todd Bowley and his American gang actually look at social media. They look at social media. They're like, wow, Graham Potter's trending. Wow, he's looking good. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, look, 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 look. Oh, let's get him. Because I'm not saying Graham Potter's a bad manager, but outside of that, I don't really understand why Graham Potter would be first choice. A manager who I expect the manager, he's good, but at the end of the day, like he still has only managed Brighton. He's managed a um mid-table to lower to table team, and that's it. Chelsea's still a step up in terms of the expectations. So to think that Graham Potter, and also, I keep on stressing this a lot with teams, that there's a very big difference playing against the Brighton and playing against the Chelsea, because when teams come to Chelsea, they are gonna try and form a low block because they're the underdogs, generally speaking. So they're not gonna give a lot of space. So you set up and play differently than say a Brighton, where teams aren't going to give that low block. So of course, Graham Potter can play his expansive football. He can play what the style he wants, because middle to lower tier teams aren't going to give as much of a low block as Brighton as they would against Chelsea to try and get nick a point at this and so forth. So you have to still adjust your tactics accordingly. And like I said, I'm not saying that Graham Potter is a bad manager, but it's just that I just worry that the expectation, people don't seem to appreciate the difference in expectation of different clubs, and I'm just going to expect him to go in, get the ground running. I wouldn't be surprised if the man struggles and potentially gets sacked this season or next. Personally, RDS, have you ever played a Zelda game before? If not, we got to plan some gaming on. Yeah, I played. I last Zelda game I played to was on the N64. Um, yeah, I played it on the N64 for a bit. Um, I never really got into Zelda, to be honest. I never really got, even when I played on the N64, I was more of a Mario person, and then eventually a Sonic person, which was pretty good. Um, Tad Woodward B, yeah, yeah. Chelsea Football Club is going to be in the mud. I'll just put it lightly. Chelsea Football Club is going to be in the mud if they don't sort themselves out quickly. Um, SMB, you see this whole Chelsea fine coach so quick. I think it might backfire nowadays. This is not Bramir. Football's changed. You need to, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not gone the eras where, I mean, you know, the Premier League, Pep, Klopp, the manager, the Premier League title hasn't been won by a coach that's not been at the club for a sizable amount of time, at least 3 years. It took Klopp, was it 3 years to win the Premier League? Pepper took two, but he was always going to be there for the long run. So this kind of sack, chuck, that's a bygone era. It's a bygone era, and it only at Tuchel masked it by flukily winning the Champions League with Chelsea. But if he hadn't, Chelsea wouldn't be anywhere near to be successful just because of that Champions League that they won. And like, my goodness, sorry guys, 1 second. What the? Guys, I am sorry. I might have to shorten this to stream because I don't know what my laptop just goes black a bit and then doesn't and then black again. So I'm really, really sorry. I might try and put my charger in and see if that works. In fact, give me 2 seconds. Ugh. Right. Okay. Fingers crossed this actually works and then there's no more stoppages. So I apologize for that, guys. I just yeah, all I can say is I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Hopefully, maybe um by the end of this year I'll actually be able to actually afford to get some reasonable tech for this channel. So but right now this is still very much a hobby and just trying to sort of give you guys um yeah, just give you guys some content. Um yes, thank you, gentlemen, to like the vid. Potter's world class. I wouldn't say world class. I wouldn't say world class. I don't think Tuchel UCL was a fluke. As a tactician, Tuchel's the one in the world. He does well in knockout games of the league format. Group stage is more similar to league. Tuchel in. Yeah, no. When I say fluke, I mean some of it was a little bit of a fluke. Pep not playing a DM, for example. So, but yeah, his wins against Atletico and Real Madrid definitely weren't. You're right, and you're right about his tactics. I just think that I just think that it's not so much a fluke, but it's more just the fact that like it's what you said in the thing, like he's a good cup manager. And by being cup manager, yes, okay, fine, you can maybe win 1 or 2 cups, etc. But is that always going to be the case all the time, especially when managers adapt to the way that you play? And then on top of that, like you also have to do well in the league, and that's the issue with Thomas Tuchel. RDS, can we both do a special with Graham Potter since I'm a huge fan of him? Yeah, maybe when he gets announced or like top 10 managers in the league or something like that. I think. Yeah, I would be up for that. A perfect day for me is when Bayern Munich win and I sip on some August Fresca through bending with water. No alcohol for me. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Quality time. Nope is the worst movie I've seen this year. Yeah, I someone said it was a horror or something that I should go and watch it, and I said no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I watched Bullet Train 3 times really low. Lemon and Tangerine. Yeah, I love as it's Ilyas and Jari. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I needed something like that. I needed like a laughing movie. So because I've had a long busy week. Um last week and stuff, so I just needed that sort of positivity. So these days now, like I don't have time for like negativity and stuff like in media news and stuff like that. There's just too much negativity in the world and just around that I'm just very much like just positive vibes only, positive vibes only, just positive around, so too much negativity around. United. Oh, right. Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I mean, I said if they meet in the Europa League, that's what I said. If they meet in the Europa League, we'll pimp slap you. That's in Europa League. We're not going to obviously pimp slap you at Anfield. You probably wouldn't beat us at Anfield. However, Chainsaw, it is a bit rich. You getting quotes when I have multiple receipts, for Liverpool-based receipts, that I could dig out. Multiple. Do you think Ace Man will come back? They have new owners. They did tie the purse strings. They're looking good. They're looking good. And if they can hold on to Liao, and instead of selling him, like that's the hope. Do they become like a a buyer club, selling club type of thing? Is that what happens? I don't know. I don't know. You're saying what's up, bro? So yeah, thank you, this one. Um, no, Sahara is dehydrated. Unfortunately, that's why he's so poor. Man's been planting too many Christmas trees recently. Well, that seems to be the thing. Shout out to Mo Santa, man. Mo Santa. Um, Kirikato says, "Are you happy at Liverpool and Chelsea are terrible right now?" I am. I am because and in fact, let me have a quick look actually. Let's have a look. Let's have a look before I what are I'm just going to look at the Premier League fixtures this weekend. Let's have a look. Okay. Just looking at myself on the screen to make sure that I'm not freezing quite often. Jeez, this computer, man. Right. So Fulham away to Chelsea. So I don't know. I expect them to win, but I just feel bad for Graham Potter because I almost see like a Nuno Espirito Santos situation when he came from Wolves to Spurs, and that again the difference did a great job at Wolves, but the gap and expectation was there, and then he got sacked. And I just have a feeling it's going to be the same with Graham Potter. If he'd gone to an Arsenal or even an Everton or something like that, where you know that you're going to get a bit more time. Like for me, Arsenal would be the better club even though Arteta's there, because like, right, he's going to be backed relatively. He's going to have time. He's going to be able to install what he wants. Fine. At Chelsea, he's not going to get that. He's really not. Like, I would tell every manager to avoid going to Chelsea Football Club, to be honest, because they're not going to get the time to do what they want, But hopefully, with the new manager bounce, I expect Chelsea to beat Fulham. Will Liverpool beat Wolves, however? I don't know. I don't know. Not at this rate, I think it might be a draw. And then City Spurs, that's always a big one. I don't know where that ends either. Spurs, City come, Spurs counter attack and they win. So I don't know. That could also be a draw. And then Arsenal Everton. You expect Arsenal to beat Everton in the Emirates, but Everton look like they've got a bit of gumption now. So we'll see. So some interesting games, some very, very interesting games. And as a United, as Madrid, but United doing your thing. I think United just move in silence. They just move in silence. That's it. United just move in silence. Chainsaw. Mine is Messi officially joining PSG. Also has been offered 40 million and a pound. Bad for arson. Arson. Are this hacked? No, I've not been hacked. I've not been hacked, unfortunately. It's just my computer is very, very brickage. Pause. Mid-table Brighton team is the second best coach team. I don't disagree with that. I just think that I'm just more worried for Chelsea fans more than anything. Potter will do well, says Luca. Shout out to Luca FC. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Yeah, I never played that on the Wii. I played the games I played on the Wii. I remember. Oh, memories. I really should get it out. Actually, I've not gamed in a while. Actually, because I've been so busy with work and stuff like that. I've not gamed for years. But man, I loved Super Mario Galaxy. I loved it. Loved it. Syria is too weak, I guess. Antonio, man. Antonio. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Speak on it, Antonio, because Antonio was getting a lot of stick. Syria is too weak, can't compete, blah, 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 blah. And then, Napoli drop a 4-piece. Now, don't get me wrong, Juventus got lubricated by PSG somewhat. Inter lost, I think, today as well. And AC drew, but Napoli dropped a 3-piece, not 4-piece even. Napoli dropped a 4-piece. So yeah, it's not that weak, is it? But shout out to Antonio, man. Was Bullet Train good? Yes, it was. It was funny. It was I would watch it. I was entertained. I was definitely entertained. So I would definitely go for it, man. It's kind of like a John Wick type of, as Christian said, almost John Wick style fighting stuff like that, mixed with comedy, and sort of tied subplots, which is pretty cool. I actually don't know what it's based on. Is it based on like a comic book or something, or is it just it was just a book? I wonder what it's based on, because if it's based on a book, I'd love to see a sequel. Also, Dragon Ball. Yeah, I need to actually go and watch that still. I need to go watch that. If anyone hasn't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to my second channel called Red Marvel, by the way. Because I do post some movie reviews and reviews and stuff like that as well. I've been a bit behind on doing it because I've been busy with stuff on this channel and other stuff. But I will hope to post some reviews on my channel regarding those things fairly soon. Ideally, I try and get them as soon as the movie is released. So, but it's a bit difficult. RDS, is Liao better than Sancho? Why is this slow again, man? Very good. Yeah, I think we're good now. Okay. Is Liao better than Sancho? Yes. On current form, yes. On current form, yes. Sancho, I'm still waiting to see the real Sancho, because Sancho is not really he's not really he has he's playing better. He's playing a little bit better this season under Ten Hag, but he's not been consistently good. You know, like he still disappears from games. Oh my goodness, this. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking at my sort of screen. I'm freezing all the time. Like, my goodness, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. Like, this is probably one of the worst streams for that in terms of the freezing stuff like that. And I don't know if it's because my laptop is. Yeah, I think it's probably because it's overheating. That's why. So I'm gonna try and minimize just everything. It's supposed to have an inbuilt fan in it, but it doesn't seem to work for some reason. But yeah, Antonio, Leo. Hey, did you terminate your loan to Madrid? No. I'm still on loan to Madrid. So, but I often watch my parent club from time to time, yeah, it's looking a bit interesting right now. Still early days, man. Still early days, but I think that you know the next. I think you have a. I think looking at the way the season's going, I think you have a clear view as to how the league will be before the World Cup, and that's either City walking it or a few difficulties, because City dropped points as well. They they drop points to Newcastle, they drop points to Villa. So anything is possible, and against Spurs even. But that said, they also started last season poor, and they still went on to win it. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'd expect or hope that Spurs do take some points off City this week. Whether that's a draw, I'm hoping for them both to draw. Who knows? And then and obviously Arsenal doing their thing. So we will see. Brighton, I mean, it's looking at the table now. Brighton, it's such a shame because Brighton are actually in a quite a good position. They're fourth, and then they're basically going to just collapse now that Graham Potter's gone. So you might as well ignore Brighton's league position right now. Antonio, anyone can beat Liverpool. Yeah, I mean that's Liverpool tax. Honestly, with the Liverpool players Liverpool have and how attacking they can play, Potter would have been great. But you can't sack Klopp. Inter looks garbage right now. Well, I mean they sold who they sell. No, they kept Skriniar and built in Lukaku. But they did sell one key player. I'm trying to remember. Perisic left, of course. Yeah. Yeah, it's a difficult one for Inter. This week we go in. Yep, that's the plan. Hopefully, end the week. Hopefully, RDS thoughts on United on Man United. Yes. So yes. Oh, shout out to Roy in the chat, by the way. Napoli is the real deal. What's up, G? Man, thank you, Roy. Thank you. They are. They are. Milan. I love that Madrid derby, by the way, man. Milan derby. So I wish I could have actually seen it properly, but I was out. But man, that Milan derby was just see. I see. I had Milan. I did have Milan. Um, what's that? Um, I always had I always had um Milan winning the Serie A. It was just that they needed to not qualify from the Champions League because getting deep into the competition. Um, but I'm willing to take an L because Inter look shaky, Juventus look shaky, and are under fraud watch because of Allegri. And Roma, Mourinho got lubricated. So to be honest, the Serie A title is an ace man's to lose. I don't trust any of these guys to do anything consistent. Napoli look good, but I just don't trust. They'll get injuries, and I don't trust them to be consistent. Milan have shown last season that they can be consistent and win a title. So I think that's what's going to happen. But in answer to this question, RDS Sports United give some more. So like, yeah, so this is like I guess a mini match preview for the game because I'm not doing match previews for Europa League. I'll just put that out there. I'm not. I'm not. I might do watch alongs and match previews in the knockout stages, but right now I'm not doing it. I'm not doing match reviews. I'm not doing any. Not doing any. So um, so they're playing obviously Real Sociedad. Manchester United are playing Real Sociedad at home. Um, Ten Hag has said in his press conference that they're going to be multiple. They're going to be multiple changes, um, and I expect that if I was to pick a starting lineup, I expect that you probably will see De Gea potentially, although I have a feeling that like Tom Heaton will go in goal. Then Lindelof and Maguire will come in. You have Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. So you're going to play basically the back four that we've had before. Luke Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, and Wan-Bissaka will probably come in because I think it's wholesale changes. Then I think you'll play Casemiro in the midfield in front of them. Probably Casemiro and Fred, and then maybe Donny van der Beek, maybe. Donny van der Beek or Bruno. But yeah, which if you think about it, could easily be seen as a better midfield than Ericsson, Bruno, and Tomini. But we'll see. It'd be interesting if he does pick that midfield of Casemiro, Fred, and Van der Beek. How well we control the game. Because the one thing I would say about the United recently is that yes, the passing has been good. Yes, we come back. Yes, the goals have been good and etc. So, but I would still say that United have not really controlled the games. United didn't really control the game against Arsenal. We went on the counter attack at times. I don't really think they controlled the game against Leicester for periods as well, and likewise Southampton. So, and in order to control the game, you need an up to midfield. Now, right now, midfield is good. The midfield is good enough because you've got the technical players in there, and McTominay seems to have settled down a little bit. Now that he's got, you know, Ericsson, alongside him to a certain extent, or Casemiro. So yeah, but yeah, I suspect that the front three, I think probably Alanga, I suspect will come in again. Ronaldo will start, and then maybe they'll give Anthony some more game time as well. So and then on the bench you have like Ahmad, for example, who can make his involvement known. So, but I think it'd be very difficult for Ahmad. Ahmad should go on loan. I think I could be wrong. Is he on loan already? I'm not entirely sure. So, but if he's at the club or any youth player that's in the club that's wants to play in the wing position, then they should probably go. Garnacho can at least play in the forward number 9 position potentially. So, and when we might need him to do that because Ronaldo can't play 2 games a week. Rashford and Martial get injured alternatively, so it might be that we might have to rely on him. So I would actually like Garnacho. Even though I think Ronaldo will play, I like Garnacho to at least have a good 20 minutes at least to get to match fitness and to get what your senior footballs look like, etc., etc. So yeah, but I mean, ultimately, it's Real Sociedad. They're probably the hardest team in this group. I expect United to get a win against Real Sociedad team like last time. And then that's a good footmark in this in this group. At least that's what I think anyway. CR7 playing Europa League and closing. CR7 playing Europa League and closing for it is a weird period. Yes, he didn't want to play it, but people like certain things and take football things too seriously. It's true. I'm watching out for Napoli. They have a lot of they do. I guess my only thing with them is that I just like even now with Osterman, for example, getting injured, I just have this feeling that they'll just pick up a lot of injuries. I'm not saying that they're bad. I just have this weird feeling they'll just pick up a lot of injuries. A lot. Clowning, not closing. I think wow, people online are saying Napoli can win Serie A now. Relax, come on. A domestic thing is different than a couple like it is. People need to relax. People really, really need to relax. They do this all the time, man, and they need to relax. They really, really do. They need to relax. Yeah, they need to relax. I've got two gone here. Let me just quickly give a few thoughts on Liverpool's destruction. To Yes, let's just give a few thoughts on that. Yeah, Liverpool thrashed, man. Liverpool thrashed. Let me just give a quick couple of thoughts on this, and then we'll round up. If you have any questions that you want me to answer just before we round up, please let me know. So it's almost gone 11 UK time, and I actually need to go to bed. But I want to at least dedicate at least an hour of the week for a weekly Q&A. I can give that for weekly Q&A an hour in a week. So if you guys have any pressing questions, so yeah, I'd appreciate it. So I'm just going to quickly round off with the little because those are the two main topics really: the preview, the top body reaction, Liverpool being thrashed, Liverpool in the mud. That was a brilliant game by Napoli. A brilliant, brilliant, brilliant game by Napoli, man. Excellent, exquisite from Napoli, and seeing Liverpool absolutely dominated and thrashed by Napoli was beautiful. Now I know a lot of Liverpool fans will say, "Oh, it's Klopp's fault, it's FSG's fault, and so on." And I don't think that. I think Liverpool are a big enough football club. They're not going to do what Todd Bowley did to Tuchel, i.e., forget what he delivered to them and just replace him with someone else, quickly. I don't think Liverpool will do that. I don't think Liverpool will do that even if they end up in Europa League, because of what Klopp has enough credit in the bank. I think the big thing is that will the players turn against Klopp? I don't think so. Liverpool players don't seem like that they'll just turn up against the manager. But it's clear to me that they needed more signings. So there's that. But at the same time, it's also clear that Klopp clearly has, to a certain extent, favourites. And if I'm honest, I don't really understand why he played Firmino, Salah, and Diaz against Napoli. I don't know why he didn't start Nunes. I don't know if there's a reason, but Firmino is not a number 9. He's really not. And a lot of those balls that Trent delivered into the box, there was no one really there for them. So I don't know why Nunes didn't start. Thiago, there was a little bit of arrogance, I guess, sometimes, because I was kind of like, yes, I know you want to wait for Thiago to get back fit, but don't you want to win this game? And I guess that's the thing. It's like, oh, I'd rather not risk, Nunes or Thiago or the rest of it, because we can kind of make do with this, makeshift Liverpool squad and beat Napoli away. And that was foolish by Klopp. That was very, very foolish by Klopp to think that he could just beat Napoli easily, So, and I think that's where a combination of players, but I'd say a good 60% on Klopp and his poor selection And yeah, like it's just it cost him ultimately. And that's what loyalty does sometimes. You know, Henderson's injured. Milner in the midfield, really? I'm not saying he's a terrible player, but really, Milner in the midfield? Come on, that's just not gonna work. That's just not gonna work. Let me quickly read your final comments and I'll bounce. Um, let's have a look. Artist, who you got on the weekend? Man City versus Spurs. I will put my bets on Spurs. I think it's going to be a draw, but if I had to pick a winner, I'd say Spurs. That's what I would say. If I had to pick a winner, I would say Spurs. If I had to pick a winner, is Darwin 100 million flop? I mean, you can't call him a flop just yet, but I do think it's strange that like he obviously pissed off his manager when he got the straight red. That was dumb. So he's just coming back in, and Klopp doesn't want to injure him because he feels like he'll need him. But considering Haaland's availability and that City pay less for him, I don't know why Klopp didn't go. I mean, it could be wages, I guess, because Liverpool can spend money, but not going to smash their wage structure. And maybe City were prepared to do that, but yeah, it's still too early to say that he's been a flop, and he's had some good chances, but it's just that getting them on target again is a problem, so that's 2 cents about that anyway. Are the tides changing in the EPL? Nah, not for a while. I still think this happens almost every year, where teams are close, and then as the year progresses, people get further and further away, and often it's Manchester City. They often start poorly, but then they pick up a lot of points around December time, January, February time, etc. So that's what tends to happen. So Pep doesn't win the league before Christmas; he wins it significantly afterwards. That's at least the way I see it anyway. So yeah. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate the Q&A. We'll be back with will be the match review and reaction with the Crystal Palace game. I will probably upload a match reaction to the Sociedad game. United form will be back hopefully on Friday. So make sure you stay tuned in for that as well. We'll be getting a couple of guests on and stuff, so that'll be good. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. Have a nice day, evening, sleep wherever you are, and cheers.